Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video tutorial. Today I have for you an add-on for the Jasmine dress. The Jasmine dress pattern from Designer Stitch, I think, is one of my favorite patterns. It's really easy to make. It gives you a really nice dress that you can dress up and dress down, and you can make it in a lot of knit fabrics, from jersey to scuba, and this is a sweater knit, for example. So I always wanted a warm Jasmine dress. The original Jasmine dress has a rounded collar band, and I had this piece of fabric from Minerva, and I really wanted, because it was really thick, I was thinking that it's going to make a really nice warm dress. So to do that, I added this really big cowl neck, and it was and from Designer Stitch, the designer behind the Designer Stitch, it was really kind to make a pattern for it, and to add it to the original Jasmine dress as a free add-on. So if you have the Jasmine dress pattern bought, you have you'll get an email with this add-on, and if you don't have the Jasmine dress, if you buy the pattern, you get this add-on free, of course. So in this video tutorial, I'm only going to show you how to sew the collar to make it, and then to put it together on the dress, and also how to adjust the original Jasmine pattern, because you get actually only you get only a little bit of a template, let's say, to put it on your original pattern, because the front piece and the back piece are a little bit adjusted, the necklines, in order to receive this big pattern piece, this collar. So I'm going to sew only a small sample, because you'll not believe it, but I don't need another dress. Maybe I'll make another dress, but I don't really have a pattern that fabric that I want to make it. So I have a small piece of scuba that I cut it out to show you, to demonstrate this tutorial. So I'll change the cam and I'll show you how to change the pattern pieces and how everything is getting sewn up. I just want to say that for the dress, you'll find, I mean, the dress is not really difficult to put together. It's a knit dress. You have the princess seams, you have here the pockets, and in the back is a center back seam that is giving you the possibility to make a nice scoop here at the back, and also two fisheye darts to give you a nice fitted back. The only tricky thing in this pattern are the pockets, of course. As you can see here, there are two welts, I mean, one here and one here. There is a welt that is going in the princess seam, and you have here a small corner that is, you know, it's a little bit tricky to sew. But for the pockets, for the pocket construction and the sewing of the princess seam, I have a video tutorial here on YouTube. I'll put a link that you can follow that. And for the color, for this option, you see now this tutorial. So the pattern pieces that you'll get in your add-on file are these three. This is the collar piece that is actually like this. This is this here is the neck edge, and here is the lower edge. You get a template for the front. You can see here very clearly how it is, how the standard Jasmine front neckline is, and how the new one is, a little bit lower. And you also have an add-on for the back. This is what is important for us, the neck edge, with a little bit of added on here at the shoulder. So these three pieces you have in the add-on, and let's assume that you have your original pattern pieces for Jasmine. This is my back. As you can see, it's a little bit crooked because I had here my standard sway back adjustment. So this is my back, and this is the template I got from the add-on, and it's only a question of putting it here at the shoulder point, and then it will come here at the edge of the center back. And to make it easy, I only tape it in place, as you can see, and I can use this piece now to cut it as my new back for the cowl dress. So this is the back. I'm going to put it aside. And for the front is the same. This is the front piece. Here you have, of course, the side front with the princess seam and the pocket. But that side front is not important for us now. So this is my front. And this is the template for the front. And the same, you place it here, you match a few points like here at the shoulder, because this is the same, and the armhole and the princess seam, and everything is going to, and here at the center front, and these are matching the center front, here the armhole, the princess seam, then I can tape this one down. As you can see, in this case of the front, you have here the old neckline, which is in this in the original pattern is a little bit higher. So because I don't want to lose my original pattern, I did just fold this away like this, that I could cut around this new pattern piece, and later if I want to have back my original piece, I can take the template away and I can use again my standard pattern piece, of my original pattern piece rather. So this is very easy. Put your templates on, match a few points that they are the same, and in the case of the front, fold it a little bit away that you can cut your piece out of the fabric without messing up with the original pattern. So this is the front piece. And the neck and the collar piece, you have to cut 2 on fold, of course. These are getting cut on fold. This is, as I said, is the neck edge, and this longer one is the lower edge. I have the pattern pieces already cut. And as I said, I'm just going to make a sample of this. I'm not going to make a complete garment, because there is no need to see me struggling with a complete garment in front of the camera. So this is one of the colors pieces. This is another one. This is a scuba crepe, and very soon you'll see a really nice dress made in this. Also a new design from Designer Stitch. So this is 2 times cut on the fold. This is, let's see, this is the front piece. As you can see, it's really deep. The original, it was something like this, much higher. And here I have the back, which is cut with a seam in the center back. And I'm going to sew first the center back seam to get a complete back piece. And then I'm going to sew the shoulder seams, and if it was a real garment, I will add some clear elastic in order to avoid any stretching of the shoulder seam. And I'm doing this, I will put a link here in the video description with the way I am adding the clear elastic by using directly my serger. And after the shoulder seams are sewn together, I can also make the collar piece, and then it's only a question of a matter of quartering the collar piece, quartering the neckline, and then to put them together. I'm going to use for my pink scuba, I'm just going to use white thread, because like this you can see really well the seams, but you'll probably use something that is matching, of course. Just going to put my, maybe put it on is also helping. Okay, let's see. And at this step I'm also going to sew the collar pieces. You have 2 possibilities here. You can either sew the 2 collar pieces on the lower edge completely, or you can sew them, you know, like a tube, one by one, so right sides together, and sew the shorter edge or the center back seam, let's say, on the collar piece. I'm going to sew this together. 6mm seam allowance on this. And then again the second collar piece, sew the center back seam with a 6mm seam allowance. Here, so I have now my piece sewn together, and in real life you'll press this really nice to have a nice pressed seam. And these are the collar pieces. They are sewn, both of them. Center back seam is sewn, and of course here you also press. And I think the best way to press this in order to avoid too much bulk at the next seam is to press one to the right and the other seam to the opposite direction. Like this will you have you know, you'll be able to get a little bit lesser bulk when these ones are coming together. So I have now the two collar pieces, and I want to complete the collar before I go to the next step. So these are the two pieces, and my tip is when working with this, because you know, you can easily flip it with the so you see, it's really easy to flip it. I'm just going to make a small snip to be sure that I get the right edge sewn to the right edge. So this will be my lower edge of the collar, and this will be the neck edge. So I'm just going to make a notch here down to be sure that that I'm going to sew this together at this the next step. So the next step is to sew this together. I'm going to turn one right side out. So I have my notches here, and I know that this is going to come to this edge here. And I'm just going to put my hands here in and get this one to the inside. And now I have them right sides together. And as I said, I will try to stagger these seams, so one to the right and one to the left, as you can see. And I think I want to have one pin and then another pin somewhere here. I have a notch for the center front, always helpful to have one. And now I can sew this on my serger. I can lock my knife here, pull my presser foot up, turn the work, and then serge off. Of course, you can also make all these seams with your sewing machine, because you can use like a really wide how should I say, zigzag stitch. But this is really not these are really not seams that are going to stretch. So to be honest, I really sew most of the time this with a straight stitch on my sewing machine, especially when I'm working with a stable knit like this. So I just turned everything right side out. Here is the seam. Normally you'll press this at sewn, as sewn. And then the next step is to press this lower seam. I want to say that if you find that your seam is still rolling to the outside, the easiest way is to understitch this. So you'll come again between the two layers and you'll understitch the seam. So this seam you'll understitch it to one of the sides, to the right or to the left, and then you'll use the other side where you have no edge stitching. You'll use that as your right side, because if you understitch, actually I need to say, if you understitch your seam, then everything is going to roll really nice, and you'll have on your right part of your color, let's say, you have no rolling and you'll see no seams. So understitching is a good step to do now. So after this is pressed, and if you prefer also understitched, then you'll be ready to attach everything on the bodice. But of course, first of all, we need to sew the shoulder seams together. That is of course really easy to do. Let's see. So as per pattern, as I said, I'm adding, normally I'll add some clear elastic on the shoulder seams, but in this case it's not necessary. So I'm just going to put everything together with the serger. My knife is back in place. 6mm seam allowance. 1 and 2. Again, press your shoulders to the back. And this is what we have now. And the next step is going to be to quarter this neck edge. And how you do that, I have here the center front notch in the center front. Here is the center back seam. I'm going to put this together like so, only for a moment with the pin, and then I can quarter my edges. They are not, the shoulder seam is not your is not a quarter of all of this neckline. So put it nice and straight, and I have here 1/4 of it, and I have here, let's see, like this, like so. I have here another 1/4. Usually I'm making also a small snip. Now I can take the center front, center back pin out, and this is nice in 4 quarters. The center, center back, one here, and one at the center front. And the same I'll have to do with the collar piece. So the same treatment of the collar. I have here, if you find that it's a little bit tricky to work with these separate layers, you can also baste the collar pieces, or the collar piece. You see it's 2 layers. You can baste it with a row of basting stitches on the machine or with the hand, whatever is best you find easiest. So I have here the center front. I'll put a pin that you can see it easier. I'm going to match this one with the center back, and then at this edge here, so here are my center front, center back, I have here 1 piece or 1/4, and then I go to the other edge. This fold is going to be the other 1/4, and this everything, let's see, I need the 2 layers, and this is going to meet with the markings I made here on my bodice. So to do that, I'm going to, this is right side up. I really need to know which one is the right side of my collar at this point. As I said, if you understitch, you really need to see that will be your wrong side. So the right side is going to be, in my case, this one. So my bodice is quartered. The collar is done also, is also quartered. So now I'm going to put the right side of the bodice against the collar here at the center back. And then I'm going to meet the center front of my collar piece with the center front of the bodice. And then here I have one, and here I have the last mark on the bodice and on the collar piece. Let's see, that will be here. And now I can just sew this together on my serger and everything is done. Maybe you have to stretch the collar a little bit. It's a little bit, just a tiny bit shorter than your neckline, which is good. Be careful to have your shoulder seam to the back. And then it's only a question of sewing the 3 layers together. And this is done. So I have here another sample I made. This one is made in ponty knit. I hope you can see it because of the print. It's a little bit hard to see, but this is also falling really nice, as you can see. The really is a soft ponty knit. This one is a really heavy sweater knit. So this one is. You can see how the cowl is draping, although it's a big piece, it's draping really nice. And the one we just made, let's see how this one is looking. I have here a small thread that is driving me nuts. So let's see, this is the front and this is the back. Let's see. So as I said, this is only a small sample. And this is how this scuba is draping. I think it's looking really nice. So as I said, if you find that this scuba is pressing on the right side, is pressing really nice. So if you think that this roll edge is popping up the whole time, you can always choose to understitch. As I said before, you put it on the bodice, you can understitch this side. It's really making a big difference, because here you can see if this one was rolling out, it would not look so nice. But this is our scuba sample of the cowl neck for the Jasmine dress. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I think it's a really easy tutorial to make. Actually, you put the 2 color pieces together, and then you construct the dress till the shoulder seams. It's really easy, much easier to put the color if your dress is still open on the side seams. So you work on a flat piece of fabric, and then it's only a question, if you did make already your pockets, don't forget you have the tutorial here. Sew the side seams together, put nice sleeves on, make your hems, and then you are done with your new Jasmine dress. I hope you enjoyed these videos. Don't forget to give me thumbs up. If you want to see more of this kind of tutorials or reviews videos, subscribe to my channel and put your notifications on, and you'll get a message when something new is up on the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Happy sewing!